Thank you, Madam Speaker. Tough act to follow for sure, but I appreciate comments of the previous speaker. Every time I step on this House floor, it's truly an honor. We can all remember that first time during orientation when we were rep-elects that we get to walk onto the floor. A lot of hard work, years, sometimes decades of involvement in our communities have gotten us to this point where we are sent to Lansing to represent our districts. I will always remember that walk onto the House floor in November of 2014. But for me, it wasn't the first time. In fact, the first time I can remember sitting on the House floor during a session was in 2004. I was on staff for Speaker Rick Johnson, and I was given the task of sitting near a rep and keeping him awake long enough to vote during one of our late night sessions. I didn't care. I was just happy to be on the House floor. My time in Lansing started as an intern in the state Senate when I was 20 years old. And it continued for nearly 10 years as a staff person for a governor and legislators in both the House and Senate. You could say that I grew up in Rochester Hills, but I really grew up working around the Capitol here in Lansing. This was an invaluable experience that prepared me for my time as a representative. I had previously done almost every job you can do in the legislature except for actually voting. I want to start off by thanking the residents of the greater Rochester area for sending me here to represent them for the past 6 years. When I was 29, the City of Rochester Hills residents took a chance on me and elected me to the City Council. 13 years later, it has been an honor to be your voice. Our office has strived to deliver strong constituent service and accessibility to help you navigate state government. Next, I want to thank my family. My wife Julia and my son James have kept me humble and grounded during this journey. After a day in Lansing of hearing Mr. Chairman or Representative, I know I can come home and hear Dad or Michael. For 13 years, I've debated my wife on the issues of the day as I struggle to formulate my own position on this issue or that issue. And she has always been my sounding board. I must also thank my parents, Bob and Nancy, for always supporting me and being great role models for community involvement and giving back. Thank you to my more famous rock star brothers, Tim and Matt, for accepting a politician into the family. And thank you to the Wimberly and Barlow families for always being supportive of Julia's husband. Next, I must thank the great staff I have had over the years. It can't be easy to work for a former staff person, but each had a unique role in the successes that our office had over the years. Carrie Bierman, John McNamara, Charles Visser, Mitch Moore, Doug Bohm Jr., Molly Wingrove, Peter Esho, and Kevin Rose. I could not do what I do if it wasn't for their hard work over the years. Each earned rave reviews from constituents, and each left their mark on the 45th House District. I have been blessed to serve under 3 speakers who entrusted me to serve on some of the most powerful committees in town. I must single out Speaker Lee Chatfield for allowing me to chair the House Regulatory Reform Committee over this past session. It was an honor to serve in that role, and it was an honor to serve as part of your leadership team. Our committee was one of the busiest of the session. Thank you to the members, and particularly Vice Chair John Churkin, for your partnership over the last 2 years. We were able to accomplish a lot. And a special thank you to Jimmy Beal from the Policy Office for your tireless work in support of the committee. Thank you to all the staff who make this institution run. The business office, the sergeants, the clerks, the pages, the Michigan State Police, the cleaning staff, the building staff, the tour guides. You keep us organized and you keep us safe. Special recognition also goes to our policy staff, our communication staff, and the leadership staff for working to keep our caucus running and informed. I've had the pleasure of sitting next to 3 different seatmates, Lisa Lyons, Joe Graves, and now Jack O'Malley. Thank you to for your friendship and conversation over the years. I want to congratulate Speaker-elect Jason Wentworth and wish him and the 101st Legislature the very best next session. This chamber is in great hands with Jason at the helm. Please welcome my friend, Mark Tisdale, into this exclusive club. He will make an excellent representative of this body. If I start to list a lot of members, I will leave someone out, and I don't want to do that. The truth is, I've enjoyed serving with all of you, past and present. There's great potential in this room when we put politics aside and work together. There's experience from all walks of life, every corner of this state. I'm proud to have served with each of you. You were in the arena. So as I leave political life, I look forward to being closer to home, having more time with family. One of the things my son James and I like to do together is ride the roller coasters. For a 7-year-old, he is fearless. He will find the tallest, fastest ride in the park, and he'll want to get on. One time we tried to convince him he wasn't tall enough to ride, but the measuring stick at the front said otherwise. Now, 7-year-olds lack patience, so standing in line can be hard. Still, when you're in line, you can kind of size up the ride, see all the twists and turns. You hear the roar of the crowd as they fly by, go upside down, and drop from the highest of levels. The anticipation builds for your turn. Now, James always wants to sit with me on these rides instead of Mom. He is convinced that somehow, if something goes haywire, that I can save him because I am so strong. Those are his words. And while one can size up a ride in the line, you really must experience it for yourself. Riders can and will have different experiences. Some put their hands up while others cover their eyes. Some are just looking for the camera that takes your picture. Some are not having any fun at all, while others are having a blast. All the buildup, the standing in line, the anticipation, and the ride is over like that. It is exhilarating. You wish you could ride it all day long. But then you look to the side. Other people, they've been waiting in line for a while now too. It's their turn to ride the ride. Their turn to experience everything it has to offer. And it's time for me to exit with all my personal belongings. But it was a great ride, one that I will always cherish.